All our lives we've been fed this story, this supposedly undeniable fact. Dinosaurs died off millions of years before the first humans ever walked the earth. Textbooks, documentaries, scientists, they all repeat it like it's gospel. 65 million years, they say, a gap so big it makes your head spin. But what if, and just hear me out on this, what if they're wrong? What if there's evidence, real tangible proof that humans and dinosaurs weren't separated by eons, but actually existed at the same damn time? That's what we're gonna dig into today. We're gonna crack open this whole dinosaur-human timeline and see if it holds water. We're talking about footprints, carvings, ancient myths, and scientific discoveries that might just turn everything you thought you knew about history upside down. Buckle up, folks, because this is where it gets weird. So picture this, it's 1938, Paluxy River, Texas. Archaeologists are digging around, doing their thing, when they stumble on something incredible: fossilized dinosaur tracks. Okay, cool, we know dinosaurs roamed Texas back in the day. But here's the kicker. Right alongside those massive dino prints, they find human footprints. And not just any footprints, mind you, but prints that are embedded in the same layer of rock as the dinosaur tracks. Now, according to the mainstream geological timeline, that rock layer dates back to the Cretaceous period, over 100 million years ago. That's way before humans were supposed to be walking around. So how do you explain a human footprint chilling next to a dinosaur footprint in rock that old? It's like finding a selfie stick in King Tut's tomb. It just doesn't add up. Naturally, this discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. But instead of embracing this mind-blowing possibility, mainstream scientists, they did what they do best. They tried to explain it away. Oh, those aren't human footprints, they said, it's just erosion. Erosion that just happens to look exactly like a human foot? Come on, man! It's like they're so married to this whole dinosaur extinction millions of years ago narrative that they can't even consider the possibility that they might be wrong. But why? Why are they so quick to dismiss evidence that challenges the established timeline? Could it be that the coexistence of humans and dinosaurs throws a wrench into the whole theory of evolution? I mean, if humans were around when dinosaurs were still stomping around, it kind of messes with the whole timeline, doesn't it? It's like finding out your great-great-great-great-grandfather was actually a velociraptor. It changes things. Okay, so we've got these footprints in Texas, but it doesn't stop there. Let's travel halfway across the world to Ica, Peru. This place is like an archaeologist's playground. They've found hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of carved stones there. Now these aren't your average doodles on rocks. These carvings depict dinosaurs. And not just any dinosaurs, we're talking Triceratops, Stegosaurus, T-Rex, the whole gang's there. But here's the real mind-blower. Some of these carvings show humans interacting with these dinosaurs. I'm talking riding them, keeping them like pets, the whole 9 yards. It's like the Flintstones, but in ancient Peru. Now these carvings are thought to be thousands of years old, which in itself is pretty wild. But here's the thing, how did these ancient people know what dinosaurs looked like? They didn't have museums, they didn't have Jurassic Park, so how did they carve these incredibly detailed images of creatures that supposedly died out millions of years before? It's almost like they had seen these creatures with their own eyes, don't you think? Like they lived alongside them, observed their behavior, and then decided, hey, let's carve this on a rock for future generations. And it's not just Peru, we find similar depictions all over the world. In Utah, there are cave paintings that show what looks a whole lot like a brontosaurus hanging out with a bunch of humans. And in the Sahara Desert, you've got ancient rock paintings that bear an uncanny resemblance to our modern depictions of dinosaurs. It's almost like these ancient cultures across the globe had a front row seat to the dinosaur show, and they documented it in the best way they knew how, through art. Let's talk about dragons, man. These mythical beasts, these fire-breathing flying lizards, they pop up in cultures all over the world. From China to Europe, ancient civilizations have told stories about these powerful, terrifying creatures. You've got knights slaying dragons in European folklore, and then you've got dragons as these wise, benevolent beings in Chinese mythology. It's fascinating how these creatures transcend cultures and time. But here's the thing that always gets me. The descriptions of these dragons, the scaly skin, the sharp teeth, the wings, they sound a hell of a lot like dinosaurs, don't they? I mean, take a look at a pterodactyl and tell me that doesn't scream dragon. I'm not saying that all those dragon stories are literal accounts of dinosaur encounters, but what I am saying is that maybe, just maybe, these myths, these legends, they're rooted in something real. What if our ancestors, thousands of years ago, actually came face to face with these creatures we now call dinosaurs? What if those encounters, those terrifying, awe-inspiring moments, got woven into their stories, their myths, passed down through generations? It's like a giant game of telephone, right? The details might get fuzzy, exaggerated over time, but the core of the story, the encounter with a powerful reptilian creature, that remains. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of what we dismiss as myth and legend is actually based on real events, real encounters that have been distorted and reshaped over time? Chapter 4. Now I know what you're thinking. Joe, this is all fascinating, but where's the hard evidence? Where's the scientific proof? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because the science is where it gets really interesting. In 2005, a team of scientists made an incredible discovery while they were studying a Tyrannosaurus rex fossil. They found soft tissue. We're talking blood vessels, collagen, even the remnants of red blood cells. Now this is a big deal because, according to conventional scientific wisdom, soft tissue shouldn't survive for millions of years. It degrades, it breaks down, it disappears. The fact that they found intact soft tissue in a T-Rex fossil suggests that maybe, just maybe, these creatures weren't roaming the Earth 65 million years ago. Maybe, and I know this sounds crazy, but maybe they were around a lot more recently, and it doesn't stop there. In 2007, another group of researchers unearthed fossils that contained incredibly well-preserved skin and muscle tissue. Again, this flies in the face of what we thought we knew about fossilization and the degradation of organic material over time. These discoveries, they're like cracks in the foundation of the established timeline. They're anomalies that can't be easily explained away. And the more we dig, the more of these anomalies we seem to find. It's like the universe is trying to tell us something, like it's saying, hey, you've got it all wrong. It's time to rethink everything. Chapter 5. So we've got footprints, carvings, legends, and now even scientific evidence that challenges the accepted timeline of dinosaurs and humans. The question is, if all this evidence is out there, why is it being ignored? Why are mainstream scientists and institutions so resistant to even considering the possibility that dinosaurs and humans might have coexisted? Admitting that dinosaurs and humans might have walked the Earth at the same time would be a paradigm shift of epic proportions. It would turn the scientific world upside down. Darwin's theory of evolution relies on a gradual progression of species over millions of years. Humans evolved from apes, apes evolved from earlier primates, and so on. Dinosaurs are way down that line, millions of years before humans even entered the picture. But if humans were around when dinosaurs were still roaming, it throws a wrench into that whole timeline. It suggests that maybe evolution didn't happen exactly the way we've been taught. And that's a scary thought for some people, especially those who have built their careers on defending the status quo. Institutions have a vested interest in maintaining the current narrative. They've built entire exhibits, written countless books, and secured millions in funding based on the idea that dinosaurs died out millions of years before humans appeared. Admitting they might be wrong, that's not just embarrassing, it's a logistical nightmare. Governments and powerful institutions like to control information. They like to control the narrative. And what's more fundamental to our understanding of the world than the history of life on Earth? If people start questioning the official timeline, if they start digging into alternative theories, it could lead to a breakdown of trust in authority. And that, my friends, is something that those in power fear more than anything. Chapter 6. So here we are at the edge of the rabbit hole. We've looked at the footprints, the carvings, the legends, the scientific anomalies. The evidence is there, staring us right in the face. But the question is, are you ready to accept it? Are you ready to accept the possibility that everything you thought you knew about history, about dinosaurs, about the very origins of humanity might be wrong? It's not easy, man. It's not easy to question everything you've been taught, to challenge the beliefs that have been ingrained in you since childhood. But sometimes, the truth, the real truth, it lies beyond the comfortable confines of what we think we know. It lies in the shadows, in the fringes, in the places where people are afraid to look. So I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to spoon-feed you answers. I'm just here to present the evidence, to ask the tough questions, and to encourage you to think for yourselves. Do your own research, question everything, and don't be afraid to consider possibilities that challenge the status quo. Because at the end of the day, the truth, whatever it may be, is far more fascinating, far more mind-blowing than anything we could ever imagine. So there you have it. The evidence is out there, folks. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep believing what they've always told you, or are you going to dig a little deeper, question a little louder, and maybe, just maybe uncover the hidden truth? This is the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night, man. The mysteries, the conspiracies, the things they don't want you to know. And trust me, we're just scratching the surface. If you want to discover more hidden truths, make sure to follow our YouTube channel, Secret Organization, for shocking theories and hidden realities about our world. We're diving deep into the unknown, questioning everything, and exposing the secrets they don't want you to find out. Stay curious, my friends.